So, Sirach 28, verse 13, page 103. Curse the whisperer and the deceiver, for he has shaken many who were at peace. Slander has shaken many, and scattered them from nation to nation, and destroyed strong cities, and overturned the houses of great men. Slander has driven away courageous women, and deprived them of the fruit of their toil. Whoever pays heed to slander will not find rest, nor will he settle down in peace. The blow of a whip raises a welt, but a blow of the tongue crushes the bones. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen because of the tongue. Happy is the man who is protected from it, and who has not been exposed to its anger, who has not borne its yoke, and has not been bound with its chains. For its yoke is a yoke of iron, and its chains are chains of bronze. Its death is an evil death, and Hades is preferable to it. It will not be master over the godly, and they will not be burned in its flame. Those who forsake the Lord will fall into its power. It will burn among them and will not be put out. It will be sent out against them like a lion, like a leopard. It will mangle them. See that your fence in your property. See that you fence in your property with thorns. Lock up your silver and gold. Make balances and scales for your words, and make a door and a bolt for your mouth. Beware lest you err with your tongue, lest you fall before him who lies in wait. So James talks about this too, about the tongue, and about, we have to account for all the words that we utter, and that it steers the ship. It's like the rudder of a ship, and it kind of guides the direction. The smallest, your tongue and what comes out of your mouth can cause a lot of problems. And I'm sure all of us have seen that in the past. And that's why it's good to pray before you speak, right? Pray before you act. Because sometimes things will come out, and words, once they're out there, they can't be taken back. The damage is sometimes done. He that shows mercy will lend to his neighbor, and he that strengthens him with his hand keeps the commandments. Lend to your neighbor in the time of his need, and in turn repay your neighbor promptly. Confirm your word and keep faith with him, and on every occasion you will find what you need. Many persons regard a loan as a windfall and cause trouble to those who help them. A man will kiss another's hands until he gets a loan, and will lower his voice in speaking of his neighbor's money. But at the time of repayment he will delay, and will pay in words of unconcern, and will find fault with the time. If the lender exerts pressure, he will hardly get back half, and will regard that as a windfall. If he does not, the borrower has robbed him of his money, and he has needlessly made him his enemy. He will repay him with curses and reproaches, and instead of glory will repay him with dishonor. Because of such wickedness, therefore, many have refused to lend. They have been afraid of being defrauded needlessly. Has anyone, here's the question, has anyone lended and then not got repaid?
Yes.
Yep.
Has that made you upset?
No.
No? And never?
Never asked for it. If I give it to you.
Never give it unless you just.
Yeah, well, that's very wise. And so,
Yeah.
typically, if I loan, I'm not expecting it back. I'm not going to get upset about it because I never expected it back.
Yeah.
But there are people I won't loan to. And the reason being is, depending on who the person is or whatever, because we have to be, you don't want to enable somebody bad behavior either,
My
right?
father used to tell me, you loan somebody money, don't expect to get it back. Your feelings won't be hurt.
Exactly. So.
Don't give them what you can't give. We already know about that, don't we?
Nevertheless, be patient with a man in humble circumstances, and do not make him wait for your alms. Help a poor man for the commandment's sake, and because of his need, do not send him away empty. Lose your silver for the sake of a brother or a friend, and do not let it rust under a stone and be lost. Lay up your treasure according to the commandment of the Most High. So seek ye first the kingdom of God, right, and all of his righteousness. Store up your almsgiving in your treasury, and it will rescue you from all affliction. More than a mighty shield and more than a heavy spear, it will fight on your behalf against your enemy. A good man will be surety for his neighbor, but a man who has lost his sense of shame will fail him. Do not forget all the kindness of your surety, for he has given his life for you. A sinner will overthrow the prosperity of a surety, and one who does not feel grateful will abandon his rescuer. Being surety has ruined many men who are prosperous, and has shaken them like a wave of the sea. It has driven men of power into exile, and they have wandered among foreign nations. The sinner who has fallen into suretyship and pursues gain will fall into lawsuits. Assist your neighbor according to your ability, but take heed to yourself lest you fall. The essentials for life are water and bread and clothing and a house over to cover one's nakedness. Better is the life of a poor man under the shelter of his roof than sumptuous food in another man's house. Be content with little or much. So we need to be content with whatever circumstances we have.
Yeah.
It is a miserable life to go from house to house, and where you are a stranger, you may not open your mouth. You will play the host and provide drink without being thanked. And besides this, you will hear bitter words. Come here, stranger, prepare the table, and if you have anything at hand, let me have it to eat. Give place, stranger, to an honored person. My brother has come to stay with me. I need my house. These things are hard to bear for a man who has feeling, scolding about lodging and the reproach of the moneylender. Discipline and of children and right attitudes. He who loves his son will whip him often, in order that he may rejoice at the way he turns out. He who disciplines his son will profit by him, and will boast of him among acquaintances. He who teaches his son will make his enemies envious, and will glory in him in the presence of friends. The father may die, and yet he is not dead, for he has left behind him one like himself. While alive he saw and rejoiced, and when he died he was not grieved. He has left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one to repay the kindness of his friends. He who spoils his son will bind up his wounds, and his feelings will be troubled at every cry. A horse that is untamed turns out to be stubborn, and a son unrestrained turns out to be willful. Pamper a child, and he will frighten you. Play with him, and he will give you grief. Do not laugh with him, lest you have sorrow with him, and in the end you gnash your teeth. Give him no authority in his youth, and do not ignore his errors. Bow down his neck in his youth, and beat his sides while he is young, lest he become stubborn and disobey you, and you have sorrow of soul from him. Discipline your son, and take pains with him, that you may not be offended by his shamelessness. So this sounds pretty harsh in this day and age where we pretty much coddle all our children. I mean, it does. I mean, it sounds like, what the heck? It's saying whip your kids. Boy, I'm gonna report this person to social services.
And he'll come out too.
What?
Exactly what's wrong today.
Well, I mean, and
They
I,
wanna be their friend and not
their parent, right?
You're right.
I know.
Right.
We do that all the time.
Honor your father and mother. I mean, we're called to raise them, and I think that's exactly it. We want to teach them to have righteous living, and if we can, they make the right decisions, then we've succeeded. I mean, that's where we want to help them. And in this day and age where we have all this crap going on, I mean, most parents that I've seen turn over the guidance of their kids to an iPad or an iPhone or the TV or school.
Right.
And that's where most of their education and their learning and their discipline, everything else comes from. It isn't there. And you're not teaching virtues, how to be virtuous people. You're not teaching self-mastery to kids, right? And you're overlooking wrongdoing. And so this is a huge problem that's going on. And actually it starts with men not being part of the kid's life. That's like statistically, that's the biggest thing, because typically it's a man who's going to make sure the child's disciplined, and if men aren't doing that and they're saying, well, I'll let the woman do it, that's the man's job. It really is. I mean, the man's supposed to be raising their children. A strong father figure is the most important one factor. If you want to know if a kid is going to be incarcerated or not, you can look look at the parents. Typically, 70% of the time to 75% of the time, there wasn't a father in the home.
No, blow 'em off.
That's and so these kids are raised by
And some.
what do they call mama daddies or what? I don't know. I don't even know what they call it. But I mean, they're not raised by the biological father. They don't have a father figure. They don't have somebody that's going to say, "Hey, don't do that."
You know,
And I don't have any feelings about that.
you don't have to have a biological father. You have to
It can be any father, right? You have to have that strong father figure. That's it.
Biology doesn't make you a father.
No, exactly. And that's the problem, is that the biological fathers are abandoning their children. They're not taking responsibility. And so, thanks be to God that there are men standing up and actually raising kids and trying to teach them right. That doesn't mean they're going to be perfect, but you want them to at least be able to have some kind of, right and wrong and fear of the Lord, and, just be good people. Because otherwise all these things might fall them. And I don't, we're
That's
getting
what we
pretty,
get that all the time.
what's that?
People will tell us, what do you do to make this kid mine? I can't make him